I'm Sam.
Hi, I'm Ketty.
And we are the Lotus in Life.
So, as we said last week, this week we're doing the 10 factors. So they're related to the 10 worlds and the mutual possession of the 10 worlds. So they come shortly after. Sam, why don't you give us an introduction on what the 10 factors are?
I would love to. Thanks for asking. So, the 10 factors describe the activation of life based on the wisdom of Buddhism, to never be separated from the actual world, but rather to discern the true reality, the mystic law, in the here and now, within all the manifestations of life. This wisdom enables us to transform all our experiences, good and bad, into the great cause for revealing our limitless potential. The magnificence of this wisdom is that we can do this transformation just as we are and wherever we happen to be. And that to me is amazing.
It is amazing.
And while any one of the 10 worlds can manifest or move to a state of potentiality at any given instant, the 10 factors exist and function at all times. So, the first of the 10 factors is our appearance. And as it says in Indigo magazine, in a study course that we conducted in 2007, the May edition, appearance refers to the external manifestation of life, such as our face, with its features and expressions, as well as our body, posture, and our behavior. So that's appearance.
Nature is the next factor. So this is the spiritual aspect of life, and it can be described as the personality, temperament, disposition, or potential of a thing or person. Nature could also refer to the conscious and subconscious workings of ourself. In comparison to appearance, nature is not possible to measure, it is not possible to measure our mood or emotions, but we can only see manifestations or symptoms of these emotions as they appear in their physical expressions, so our appearance.
Okay, so nature sounds like our inner life.
Yes.
Whereas appearance is our outer life.
Exactly.
And now for number 3, which is entity, which links the two together. Two parts of the same coin. And as it says in the Indigo study course, entity is the integrating force between the material and spiritual aspects of life, and manifests as the person you are and the people and things around you.
So the next one is power. Power refers to the life's inherent strength or energy to achieve something. Power can vary in degree or form according to our life condition. It increases as we reveal our Buddhahood, the physical and spiritual powerhouse of compassionate creativity. So power is what I would say is the driving force behind it.
Yeah, very well said, Ketty. Absolutely. And as it said in this piece here, it can work for negative or positive.
Exactly.
But it's the energy, it's the driving force, as you say. Number 5 is influence. So when our latent power becomes manifest, it exerts pressure on the environment. In other words, intention. This is what Buddhism refers to as influence. The value, either positive or negative, that we create in our environment. So number 6.
Number 6 is the internal cause. So these ones get a bit more difficult. The internal cause is the fundamental cause for all of our actions. A powerful internal cause activates influence and manifests effect. So you can see that all of these are linked to one another. So how I interpreted this was that the internal cause is the purpose for life, and for example, the power is the driving force.
Well put, Ketty. And the next one is relation or external cause. The external cause functions in 2 ways. to influence our life from the environment and to become part of our life tendency as it produces an effect in our life. So we have an idea, and when we put it to action, that is the external cause.
The latent effect, the next one, is the result simultaneously created in the depths of life when an internal cause simultaneously interacts with the external cause. Together with internal cause and influence, latent effect exists as a potential within our life to create a manifest effect. There's no time gap between the two, actually, as latent effect is created in the exact same life moment as internal cause. This is known as the oneness or simultaneity of cause and effect.
Which I'm sure you might have heard about, the
Yeah,
simultaneity of cause and effect.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure everyone would have heard of that as
Yeah.
well, that each cause has an effect. So
Yeah.
this links them.
And they exist within your life. So it's the internal.
Mm-hmm.
And manifest effect. So when a latent effect and an internal cause combined with influence are expressed, they are the manifest effect. When an external cause interacts with one's internal cause, this latent effect, which was a potentiality, manifests. So again, like the external cause, the manifest effect is the actual physical effect of the cause that you've made in your environment. So these four concepts of cause and effect, whether it's internal or external, can be put to an example. And Kelly, would you like to give an example of how these four points interact?
Yes, I would love to. I found it very difficult to understand at first when reading through this. So this example was very helpful. And the example of how the four factors of internal cause, external cause, latent effect, and manifest effect work together is, so example, if you break up in a relationship, that's the relation or external cause in your life. So that's the external stimulus. Then you developed a newly established fear and skepticism of intimate relationships. So that's the internal cause. It's the idea that you form from that external stimuli. And this has the potential of distrusting others, which is the latent effect. So it's the idea, it's the internal cause, but it's the thoughts and the emotions behind it. Sometime later, when someone attempts to foster a closer relationship, this is another external cause, you reject their advances. So that's the manifest effect. So how I would say it, if I had to do a flowchart, is that the internal cause, the external cause is the stimuli. The internal cause is the first sort of reaction that you have. The latent effect is a manifestation of those as like a pattern of thoughts. And then after that, the manifest effect is those actions out in the world.
Well put, Kelly. That's
Thank
amazing. And it's and I can tell your youth division, because flowchart, that's the first time I've heard of one of those, but you put it very, very well.
Thank you. And the final factor is consistency from beginning to end. So this last factor is the perfect integration of these 9 factors in every instant and expression of life. The 10 factors, like the 10 worlds, are all interlinked and connected. The 10 worlds are potentials within us and what we experience from moment to moment, and they differ greatly from one another. However, the 10 factors explains how these happen, and it is all consistent, always.
So it's all part of the function of life.
It is.
Yeah. And just to add on to that, Kelly, the ultimate purpose of the 10 factors is to explain the life of Buddha that is expressed in the form of a common mortal, which is us. It reinforces the idea that common mortals can attain enlightenment. All we have to do is awaken to the true reality that our lives are entities of the mystic law. That is, manifestations of Myoho Renge Kyo. Proving this is the aim of the practice of Nichiren Buddhism. Chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo enacts this awakening.
So after all these questions, I wanted to ask you, Sam, do you sometimes see yourself reacting automatically to situations of out of your deep inner tendencies?
Kelly, that is a very good question. And to do with, in terms of deep inner tendencies, I have a tendency to run if I'm faced with a challenge and I'm actually out of my comfort zone. And that is a challenge that I am using every day with my practice to try and overcome this fear of challenge. So I chant Nam-myoho Renge Kyo to face my challenges so that I don't run.
For me, my inner tendency is of stress and of sadness. So when I'm faced with challenges, I get very easily stressed and I overthink things, and then the next step after that is just being sad about it.
Mm-hmm.
So Sam, if we challenged everything around us with Buddhist faith, how would our life be?
That is the optimistic part of this question, of this equation. And, well, in the 30 odd years that I've been practicing, some ways that I've seen this so powerfully manifest in my life is in terms of challenge. I've seen the potential. I've seen the potential of how good my life not only can be but is. I know I've talked about this in previous discussions, but there were three main things that have happened in my life that have manifested and shown me how great my life can be. One of them being overcoming mental illness, another one overcoming a gambling addiction, and another one getting married. So these three things for me have been actual proof of faith. And I realize, even though, as I said before, I'm frightened of challenge sometimes and I'm frightened of being out of my comfort zone, I know that as long as I practice, I have the potential to not run away, to actually face challenges where I'm out of my comfort zone, and not only to take on these challenges, but to win, which is what Buddhism is all about. It's win or lose. So I do try to take on the challenge and to win. Yeah. So that's how I feel that life can be. What was the everything around us with Buddhist faith? How would our life be? So yeah, with my Buddhist faith, or with Buddhist faith, my life and all of you as well with Buddhist faith can overcome anything, and you can take on any challenge that comes into your environment.
I agree.
Yeah. So what about you, Kenny? Again, the question, if we challenge everything around us with Buddhist faith, how would, let's say, your life be?
Yeah. So for me, I've been actually going through that quite recently. I think I said that in one of our last videos as well about the mutual possession, that my inner tendency is to be stressed, especially with uni, especially in work or in my relationships around me. And one thing that I've recently come to was about changing my mindset. So through the faith, like, I've realized that we all need tools in life to improve, and Buddhism is one of the tools that I've used to improve and grow as a person, and it's one of the driving forces for me to become a better person, because through this faith I've realized that all of us have the potential to do our human revolution, which is something that we'll talk about in a later episode. But it made me feel so incredibly empowered to have that moment of realization that I can change if I'm unhappy, and that I can move forward on my life and change my inner tendencies. And currently I'm doing that and very actively working on changing my outlook and being more happy in life. And I've found my new purpose of life, and I'm using that as my driver and as something, and using the faith as well to just push me forward. And I have a happier outlook on life now, and I'm just loving life and all the things that it has to offer. One of the challenges that I'm going to face in the future is whether this mindset will stay with me, or I'm sure that like when my uni starts, I'll be stressed again, but I'll have to use Buddhist faith again to to work on those inner tendencies and to make sure they don't appear again.
So just at this point, for the men's and women's division that might be watching this, I think you'll agree with me, it's great to have a young perspective on these concepts. I mean, there's 40 years difference here, so youth and older. And we have different ways of looking at life and different points of view. So I think it's great that that you can experience a younger perspective and hopefully an older perspective. So thank you for watching this. Kelly, you had something else that you wanted to say.
That I wanted to say. So next episode we'll be doing the 3 realms, and they all link to each other in a concept called Ichinen Sanzen, which is the 3,000 realms in a single moment of life. So you guys will have to stay tuned to see what that's about, because I won't spoil it now.
Yeah, and the Ichinen Sanzen, or the 3,000 realms, was actually espoused by a Chinese philosopher, Tiente. Please don't ask me to tell you when that was, because it was a very, very long time ago. But Tiente was for many thousand, a long time ago. So far, as Kelly just said, we've done the 10 worlds, we've done the mutual possession of the 10 worlds. Today we've done the 10 factors. That's 1,000 worlds. However, when we do the 3 realms, you multiply that by 3, so it's 3,000 life conditions contained in a single moment of life. Kelly, how does that make you feel?
Excited.
Wow. Okay.
I just wanted to thank everyone for listening, and thank you for Sam for having this conversation with me.
And thank you, Kelly, for having this conversation with me. So until next time, we are the Lotus in Life. See ya.
Bye.